All right. This is going to be the fun one. What is your hot take for D&D?
I actually thought of mine. I was like, I don't know how, like, I didn't know how to answer this. And then when we were talking about other stuff, it kind of came to me. I don't like, it's kind of like I don't really like combat. Just because of how long it takes, and you have to sit and wait
and
your
it's
turn.
Turn-based combat is the worst.
I know.
This is the perfect group. None of us like combat. We're all
Why
just...
do you think I chose you?
None of us want to be fighting nobody.
We want to tell a story.
We just want to be funny little
I
guys.
do. I mean, I'm a barbarian. I do like dealing damage. I just like doing it in a timely manner.
Yeah.
She does it on a schedule.
Yeah, but you don't have to sit there playing Candy Crush on your phone while somebody else decides what spell to cast.
You want to just hit someone one time really hard and then just be funny.
Yeah.
And you're like, they're knocked out. They're good.
Yeah, when my barbarian came back and there was that moment that I don't even remember what I said, but
you guys were in a village. And
they bleed.
Yeah, it was attacked. There were these things attacking, and the village was very terrified of them. They thought they were supernatural creatures. And then Runa, your barbarian, ends up killing one of them. Blood splattered with a critical hit. You rolled a 20 on one of the first hits, and then you're just like, they bleed! They bleed! And literally everyone at the table was like electrified, even though, again, it was all in our heads.
Put everybody into a rage, even though none of them
Everyone cross-classed immediately.
They started doing the most unreasonable things. They're like, I'm going to kick open the door and summon my mount and charge it. I mean, they were literally like in the two towers, like Helm's Deep, like charging out onto the orc, right out and meet them. You know what I mean? And that was, yeah. So I can understand that. I think that is a hot take, because D&D at its core, especially the early editions, Dungeons & Dragons and Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, the whole idea was there was no story. Mm-hmm. You are at the castle. The princess is at the top of the tower. Begin. Yeah. There is no shopping. Mm-hmm. There is no character development.
I think maybe then my frustration is just in people and not having their crap together and knowing what they're doing.
Sabor is a perfect character. You're not really actually playing anything different.
I don't get into a rage. I'm just like, God. You should already know what you're gonna do when your turn comes up.
Like I said, on a schedule.
Yeah. So,
what about you?
I've been going between two.
Okay.
For as a GM, I do not put HP or attack dice for my enemies. Because I will be like, if you're not killing it fast enough, you will kill it faster.
I've done that before.
Because I don't, that's because as someone who does not like combat, I want my combats to make them feel either really strong, like they're really weak components, and it's like we're heroes, or overwhelmed and it's scary.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to be like, okay, this is your weekly combat, have a long drawn out thing, you guys take some damage, here's your XP, here's your XP.
And I've used a tactic with that, to where I had years and years ago when I was GMing for a few other guys, I had them with an NPC who was actually 2 levels higher than them, just so I could one-shot him with the guy and make them quickly go, crap, we can't take this guy on. You know what I mean? Because combat should still tell the story. You know what I mean? I'm actually a big fan of people who use combat where it's like, in their heads, they're thinking it's only going to go 2 rounds. There's a psychological effect. This person's going to bow out. They're going to forfeit. They're going to run away. But I think too many times the GM's like, no. We have to get to where they kill this thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there has to be closure.
Yeah. That reminds me. I was running a game forever ago. I went like a couple sessions, but I made a point that this guy was like, the whole group fights him because he's really strong. And one person was like, I got this. And 1v1, and I was like, this is going to be funny. You do it. This was the quickest combat. It took 2 rounds, and he was unconscious. I'm like, it was a very early fight, and I was like, this is supposed to be like...
The other people just watched him?
Yeah. Now I know why I'd only win a couple.
Well, no. It wasn't like a hostile, like, killing. It was like cage fight, kind of like, I could take you guys all on for this. And one guy's like, No, I got this. It was Mason.
Step back. Here, hold my beer.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like, pull my beer. I got you guys. And I'm like, no, you don't.
You don't.
Oh my gosh.
Controversial take.
My hot take is I hate when people metagame. When they
Get in the comments.
what's it
Just
called?
kidding.
Is it called
It is min-maxing. Yeah.
Min M-I-N?
Minimum
Okay.
max.
Yeah, I
Those are
don't
two
know what it's
different
called.
Yeah, they are.
That's two different things.
But
Oh,
metagaming, min-maxing is like a type of metagaming. It's
Yeah.
getting the
Making your
maximum amount
character.
out of the minimum amount.
Yeah.
Building broken characters.
Building broken
Yes,
characters.
I don't like broken characters. I play D&D for the story, for the characters. So when people play it just for the combat, it really frustrates me because I'm like, you're just skipping over half of everything that the DM planned for you, and you're just
Yep.
going straight.
And they're
to...
just stacking abilities to be like, I can't
Yeah.
wait to roll this handful of dice.
Why does your
Only
character
two-
have that ability? Like,
Yeah,
if you're
it
like,
makes-
I don't know, because it works better and
Yeah.
like, I get more dice. It's like, but like,
But it doesn't
why
even make sense
Yeah,
would you
with
have
it makes
this?
the whole thing so mechanical.
Yeah.
It's fun as a DM trying to push people out of that. Not in a
Mhm.
bad way, but in a good way. Like when I did the girls
Pushing them out of the
campaign.
comfort zone.
Yeah, when I did the girls campaign, I prefaced it with like, I really want you guys to play as your characters, and like this
Yeah.
is why I like built this and told a
Mhm.
little bit of the beginnings of your story, so you get interested in being that character.
Mhm.
And they did so well with, for the most part, you know, with diving into that
Yeah.
character. So I was like, yay! I'm so excited
Yeah, that was
because
really fun.
this is what I really want, and I'm
Yeah.
glad you guys are interested in it too, or else it'd be really sad.
I love the fact that Johnny and I played twins. And we did it so well that everyone was confusing us for each other.
Yeah, we
Perfect.
couldn't
That
remember
is
Who did
was
what?
I-
You're like, that's exactly.
Mike, I rolled really, really low on mentally defending myself against the manipulation of the big bad guy, and so I ended up like unlocking the door to release the great evil, and everyone kept going, "Jamie, why did you do that?"
Getting
She's like,
blamed.
what?
I'm just here.
Well, it also, yeah, you both were like tempted by him, but you were like
Yeah.
more so, and so they were all like,
Mhm.
"Wait, who am I supposed to be focusing on right now? Which twin?" It was
Yeah.
fun.
I've thought about it, and I think there's I want to kind of change mine because I've talked about a different one beforehand, but now as I'm thinking more and more about it, because I do tend to favor story driven, go figure. I feel like that's just like the running theme unintentionally. I feel like GMs do too many checks. They require too many rolls. I understand you're supposed to roll dice, and I love the being able to say, you can certainly try, give me a roll, you know what I mean? But I think there are some things that can easily be routine, and you save the character and you maintain momentum. And I know there's some people that probably think that isn't a good idea because then it diminishes like certain skills or certain things. But to me, it's like the story is way more important.
No,
than
you
whether a
want to
character
be able
has
to
dice.
like call out for your perception checks, like
Yeah.
especially like it's not just like every time I go into a room I do perception checks. Like no.
Yep.
Are you going into a room and actually like looking around at everything, or are you going into a room like
Just
walking in
Yep.
and like something happens immediately? You're not just like,
Yep.
all right, perception,
Yep.
all right, insight on this person. It's like, well, no, just it's not how you can't just insight in person like
Yeah,
every
the
single
person
thing.
hasn't even said anything. You can't use an insight check against this
Yeah.
person.
And especially I don't like everyone rolling perception unless
Yep.
it's like you're all looking for like for sure looking for something that's like
Yep.
investigation, but like it's like, oh, one person catches this, roll a perception just in case
Yeah,
kind of thing.
and
Because
I've caught
it's too many
players
people.
doing that where like I'll be like, okay, go ahead and give me a perception check, and then others will decide to
To
tag
roll?
on.
Oh,
You're
mine
like,
was
you
this.
didn't even ask
And that's-
me
Yeah.
this.
and that's what I'll
Your
tell them.
character
I'll be
wasn't
like,
even
no,
paying
no.
attention. Why
You,
would you?
Yeah,
You get a
you're
written like,
only
I got
doing
a
it 'cause
20
you
at
see-
the end of the table, and
Yeah.
you're like, for
You're
what?
in the other room.
You go, that's nice, sweetie.
But
so
I
as
rolled,
you say,
I rolled a 20. It reminds me of that like summoner video
Yeah.
where it's just like I have an ogre slaying dagger. It's +9
You're
against
not
ogre.
there.
You're not
You're at
there.
the
You're
tavern.
Cool. I get drunk. Like just in another room. It's like you're not even in the situation.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens a lot. Where like kind of back to that metagaming thing where players will be like, oh, they're gonna do that. I want to do that too. And it's like, but you didn't think of that. You know what I mean? And controlling the tempo to be like, this, in this time and space, everyone's kind of orchestrated
Yeah.
what they want to
it
do.
takes away
No
from the story when
backsies.
you're like, wait,
No
I have a higher nature. Let me.
Let me
Yeah.
lead. And it's like, sorry,
No.
this person already
Yeah.
said they're leading. So either you're following them or you're arguing.
We got that a lot too, and then we'd have like Jesus, who like has no like diplomatic
Yeah.
skill or leadership skill technically in his character, but he can't not be like, I'm in charge. Every campaign, you're like,
campaign.
you're
All
not
right,
in
cool.
charge.
Get ready for charisma checks.
Yep. And then he would like do something and I'd be like, okay, perfect. Give me a
It was great
persuasion.
and funny for
And-
the story though. Like,
Yeah.
Well, because he would have a really funny or really clever thing that he'd want to say, and I'd be like, "Great, go ahead and give me a persuasion
It
check,"
always
and then
ends
it would
with
be
teeny hut.
really bad.
didn't
and
come
he'd be
across
like,
well.
He'd be like, "Never mind." I'd be like, "No, you did it.
I
You just
cast
fumbled
teeny
on
hut.
your words." You know what I mean?
You took it wrong.
He's offended.
He's offended.